Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up? Hey, hey, hey. Hey guys, welcome into the show before the show. Hi, Stephanie, Karen, Tiny Linda. Glad you guys are all getting in this morning. As always, so much to get to. We'll get into all that in just a little bit. Good morning, Michelle. Glad you guys are with us. Hey, like, subscribe, share the show. You know where to find us: X, YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. Join the show. Join the chat line. We love it when you guys jump on, and get things going. Glad you guys are all with us today. Hey, good morning, Mitch and Michelle. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show, everybody. You know, we get going in about 10 minutes or so. Seriously, like us, push us out, share us on those platforms that you're on. Let people know what we got going on here.
If you can't donate, share the show.
There you go, Joe. Help us in whatever way you can if you like what we do. Hey guys, hope everybody's having a good day. Glad you guys are with us today. We're ready to get things going. Megan will be in on Thursday, by the way, for those jumping in early. Yep, Donald Trump taking a victory lap. Today's the 100th day. We'll talk about that. I mean, only 92% of the coverage on Donald Trump's first 100 days has been negative from mainstream media. Only 92%.
I saw a report by liberals saying that Trump's approval rating is way down.
Well, yeah. Did you see what happened? All their polling, all the liberal media polling, they're doing anything they can.
Right.
That started last week.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Jennings was breaking that down. That's what we were talking about a little bit yesterday. It's so funny. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump's approval rating. Yeah, right. Who paid for the polling? They won't tell you that. It is fun, Joe. I'm glad you brought that up. Sad state of lying affairs. They should feel shame. You feel shame.
Yeah, they don't feel shame because, you know, they pump each other up every week when they have their meetings with their buffalo headdresses on and stuff, you know. You know, the Illuminati, you know. When they're doing their animal sacrifices and stuff. don't know why, but I've always associated like the Illuminati with the Flintstones.
Okay. That's
Hear
a
me out.
strange one.
Hear me out. Because they went and they did the lodge meetings, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, good morning, Ben and Tanya and Greg. Happy Tuesday morning, y'all. Karen, Stephanie, everybody jumping in on all of our platforms on X, on Rumble, on Facebook, and YouTube. Join the chat if you want to. Let everybody know you're here. We're grateful for that. I can tell you this much. One of the first things I'm going to ask today is what you've been most impressed with. I know it's difficult to pick one, but most impressed with the first 100 days with Donald Trump and his administration. I don't care anything. Anything. It could be how good a Melania looks. I don't care, but unprecedented times. The greatest president in the history of this country 100 days in. And that's according to work. It's according to executive orders. It's according to policies brought forward. It's according to transparency. I mean, and it's according to what the shit storm that was left behind of what he's dealing with.
I can say my favorite thing right now.
Well, just hold your horses.
All right.
All right. From the chat line,
Yes.
one of our nutty listeners, my 80-year-old aunt is a riot. She's had health issues and has problems with steps. I told her I'm more worried about her falling down the steps. Who falls up them without a beat? She says Joe Biden. Yes, sir. That's what happens. Glad you're all with us today. It is Tuesday. It is April 29th.
The Order of the Water Buffalo.
Uh-huh. The Order of the Water Buffalo.
Isn't it funny how cartoons back then even, you know,
It
let us
is.
in?
No, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yes, I can. What did I need to check on here? So we get the show ready to kickstart here in just a little bit. Man, we got a lot of stories today, that's for sure. Damn, do we have a lot of stories. Hey, I just sent you something with Amazon from Repressor today, okay?
All right.
We're going to get started here in just a second, everybody.
Right in.
And one more, okay?
All right.
Coming in, then we can go ahead and get this show started. We try to be as up to the minute and up to date as possible. All right, Joe, we got a lot in today, my friend. Are you ready?
I am.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, let's get it started. Hey guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Pro Joe in the house. 9:01 is the time. It is April 29th. We're here till about 10 o'clock today. You know what we do? The news headlines, the politics, the cancel culture education, everything that's happening in 2025 when it comes to American politics and things going on around the world. We appreciate that you like, subscribe, share the show. You know where you can find us. That is on X, on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. Let us go. Support us in any way you possibly can. If you like what we're doing, you can do that by simply sharing the show. You can do it with donations on our website. You can do it with advertisers, letting us know what's going on. We are grateful for everything that you guys do. And of course, jump in on the People's Podcast platform. Give us your opinions of what's happening. We love it. We already know that we have one of the best chat lines you're going to find anywhere in America. We are based out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, and we broadcast and have listeners all around the world. We love it. Let's get right into it today. 100 years. I wish. 100 days of Donald Trump. Wouldn't that be nice? Today, 100 days already. We promoted it yesterday. We are here. Donald Trump and his team doing exactly what they said. Promises made, promises kept, and America heading in a better direction in a fast amount of time. Fox News put this together for the 100-year anniversary. 100 year. Why do I keep saying that? The 100 day of office. Donald Trump ready to rock and roll today. Okay. Donald Trump and his team continue to do everything that they possibly can. And here's the video. Just to remind you some of the best parts right now to fire us up to get us started this morning.
Watch this montage of Trump having fun recently.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
He's busy.
Hell yeah, he's busy because he doesn't have time. Joe Biden and the Democrats wrecked this country so bad. We thought it, I thought it was wrecked for just about eternity. Oh, not so fast, my friend. Ginny says 100 days. Paul says he's coming to Detroit. That's right. He's got 2 or 3 press conferences again today. He is outworking any president we have seen in the history of this country. Name one who's done more than Donald Trump in 100 days. You can't. And that's why we voted for him. And that's why he has a mandate. And that's why he continues, as I like to say, to kick ass. Thank God he loves America. Thank God his energy is unmatched. And thank God he cares about American citizens. Yes, good morning to you as well, Matthew. Good morning to everybody. Trump will be in Warren, Michigan tonight for what we are being told is a major announcement regarding the auto industry. And there isn't a better place he could go, obviously, to talk about the auto industry than Michigan, and in a town that I know well, in Warren, Michigan. Of course, I spent 11 glorious years in the Motor City. Love Detroit, love Michigan, love the people there. Donald Trump going there tonight. There's no stop. There is no quit in this man, and he continues to work around the clock. Once again, setting a standard, regardless of what Joe said in the pre-show. The Democrats try to say, well, his ratings, his approval ratings are down. Yeah. Always ask somebody who did the polling and then still question, because all you see are the massive amounts of support that this man has, that his administration has, and everybody doing everything that they possibly can. Donald Trump is not going to sit back. It has been 100 days of wonderful, so far, 100 days of wonderful news, and we continue to move forward. Okay, here's some Trump quotes regarding Canada. obviously, Canada in a situation, they've elected their new prime minister. It is Mr. Carney, Mark Carney. He won, and I'm not surprised because we saw that the conservative candidate, Pierre, as I like to say, Poilievre, turned out to be a weak excuse of a politician, and he crumbled. He literally crumbled. If Canada was ever going to choose a conservative candidate, and this was the moment, obviously they knew Justin Trudeau was probably going to get beat. They brought Carver in. Trump, in the midst of everything that was happening with Canada and 51st state and tariffs, Pierre, you effed up, brother. You caved to the pressure of the liberals. You caved. There were a lot of good people in Canada who wanted you to say, yes, we need a new direction, but instead you caved. And then I blame Canadians. And I hope you're happy with what you got, Canadians, because you guys are still the same people that booed the Americans, that booed the American flag, that booed Donald Trump. And then you got Mark Carver. If you're happy with Mark Carver, you look and see how liberal that guy is. You think things are going to change in Canada? Not going to change. Hope you're happy. Donald Trump making the most of the moment. And he says, good luck to the great people of Canada. Elect the man who has the strength and wisdom to cut your taxes in half. Increase your military power free to the highest level in the world. Have your car, steel, aluminum, lumber, energy, and all other businesses quadruple in size with Joe. What the freak is going on today? Joe, are you awake?
I
Dude.
have so much. Never mind. I'm not going to make excuses.
Dude.
I'm half asleep. I'm sorry.
Did you take a gummy this morning?
I did not.
Damn, you should have said yes, and it was a good excuse.
I might have last night.
All right, continuing on with Donald Trump. Zero tariffs for taxes. If Canada becomes the cherished 51st state of the United States of America, no more artificially drawn line from many years ago. Look how beautiful this landmass would be. Free access, no border, all positives with no, I repeat, no negatives, all exclamation points. It was meant to be exclamation point. America can no longer subsidize Canada with the hundreds of billions of dollars a year that we have been spending in the past. It makes no sense unless Canada is a state. Robert from the chat line says, Canada, new China export dumping site. Yep. Great point. Great point. By the way, China is in desperate need. Remember, not going to get too off track here. China exports 5 times the amount of goods that we do. They're the ones that are going to get busted. I mean, busted by the tariffs. You just wait and see. Mainstream media will not cover it, but we do. We will, and we do. By the way, if you didn't see the stats, the polling, over 92% of media are running negative stories on Donald Trump. Surprise, surprise. Same thing as they did before. They're doing everything they can to stop all of us, the mandate that Americans have put out there. And that's why these news shows suck. That's why advertisers aren't paying the dollars that they used to. That's why, and you know, when you see their talent on local and national news, the talent has gone way down. There's no talent anymore. There's no spine. There's no substance with sizzle. It's all mundane or young or extremely cheap. And that's because Americans have put a mandate on the news. Donald Trump making it clear that Canada screwed up. Jeannie says, I don't want Canada. Those people are nuts too. Not all, but we have enough nutwads here in the United States. Yes, we do. Tanya says, agreed, but Canada uses Dominion. Yes, I know they use Dominion, and people are already calling out. The thing that sucks is you use Dominion, and we all know what happens with Dominion and what has been shown in the past. But then you still have Canadians booing Americans and booing the national and hardcore sports fans who love Donald Trump in the United States. So I'm not so sure Canada is as conservative as we want them to be. I hope that I'm wrong, but I am not so sure. Yes, I saw the trucker brigade that was going on. But once again, where is Canada? I just think a lot of times Canadians are soft when it comes to politics. They're soft. Stand up, have a spine. But Canada, you got Mark Carver. Good freaking luck with that. Hey, to each their own. That's what you voted for. That's what you get. And things could be so much better in a 51st state in the United States. Chris from the chat line says, saw a report yesterday, mind you. I'm taking it with a grain of salt coming from the media. What media? We'll have to find out. Rand Paul has coerced enough Republicans in the Senate to obstruct President Trump's tariff plan against countries like Canada and China. I don't know, but we all know about Rand Paul. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'd have to see that. Roland says, I'm out of Facebook jail. Roland, where have you been? I'm not sure what you said or did to get in Facebook jail, but I thought Mark Zuckerberg had changed. I thought Facebook was a platform of free speech. Jeannie says, plus it's cold there. I used to say that Canadians had hockey pucks for brains. They're frozen. They freeze and they freeze into little hockey pucks. Because how in the hell could Canada, and I mean, how in the hell? And I know some good people in Canada. Joe and I do some ag work with some people in Canada. But they're always like, well, you know that Donald Trump, he makes some people upset. And it's like, oh my God, this is the problem. It's not status quo anymore. We were on a crazy train, literally. We were on a road to nowhere. My song references. Did you get them? Ozzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Cancel this, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Pro Joe in House. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. You can catch us on X, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube. So Donald Trump, make sure everybody understands what the hell is happening. And he's going to have another massive turnout tonight and more. And just wait and see. Obviously, national media won't cover it because I reminded you, they're putting fake polling out about approval ratings. And they won't tell you where the polling comes from. And if they do, look at where the money for those polling places are done. Yeah, then you can see. All I wanted to say is just remember, these are the same Democrats, the exact same Democrats as you were just telling us what could happen, which is very interesting. Not one Democrat, just remember, not one Democrat voted for no tax on tips. Not one. Not one Democrat voted for no tax on overtime. And remember, not one Democrat voted for no tax on Social Security. Now you have the rest of the story. Don't let these guys lie to you. Things are going wonderful in the first 100 days of Donald Trump. That's why you have all of these people trying to bring out fake news to come after Donald Trump when we already know amazing things are happening. By the way, I forgot to mention it yesterday. I wanted to, when it comes, because we focused on some immigration in the border yesterday. Operation Tidal Wave in Florida, 780 illegal aliens were apprehended and arrested, and will soon be going back to their countries of origin. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Tom Homan. Thank you, Kristi Noem, and everybody else who is working so hard and diligently on that. Also, when it comes to Donald Trump and his 100 days and talking about Canada, I find this interesting. And I don't know if Todd Bodeker's on the line, one of the truck drivers that I know that jumps in every now and then. Trump allegedly wants truck drivers now to be forced to be able to speak English. I'm just curious what people thought about that. Requiring truck drivers to speak English and pass literacy tests. Does that mean we already have a shortage of truck drivers? I'm just curious where that would go. So we'll see. From the chat, I just want to get that out there. You know, we hit a lot of headlines. We move fast. The fastest moving news show in an hour that you're going to find anywhere on podcast. If you find something faster that hits more headlines, let us know and we'll challenge them. Okay. Tanya says, Canadian snowbirds were decent. They always came down south for the winters. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I gotcha. Robert said, by the way, Paul Cruz, Grassley ruined the tariff negotiation strategy weeks ago. Stupid overlords. Possibly. Paul wanted to remind everybody, if you have not checked, because national media will not tell you, and you need to look for yourself, inflation down 3.0 to 2.4 right now. Yes, congratulations to the United States. Oh, yeah, of course. Man, national media won't tell you about that, will they? Hell no, they won't. We shouldn't even worry as much anymore. Just letting you know, because if you're one of these people, and I don't advise that you engage in this, but for whatever reason, Projar, producer unseen, chooses to engage with these lunatic left liberals on a daily basis. And
I
they
still have friends.
friends.
Yeah.
Jeannie says, Vic. I mean, I can already hear your tone. Like, Vic, what the hell's wrong with you? Vic, we're an English-speaking country. Of course, Donald Trump should force truck drivers to speak English and pass the literacy test. I agree. From the chat line, talking about Mark Carney, the new Canadian Prime Minister. It's cool to be here. Carney is unique with minimal political experience and a strong background in global central banking as the former head of the Bank of England. Ultra liberal as well, my friend. There you go. Okay. Let's bring this to the table. We broadcast live out of the St. Louis metropolitan area to a nationwide audience and people around the world. Roland says, I'll be banned again shortly, guys. Don't worry, I'm sure, for making free speech comments. And that's why we say, hey, thank you for supporting us in any way you can for this free speech platform that we produce here with Cancel This. Matthew says, people, by the way, I was awoken by a thunderstorm this morning, nothing severe, so I turned on KMOV. That is the CBS affiliate in the St. Louis area. And there was a national news program on that was so ridiculously slanted. They interviewed workers, a diner owner, etc. And of course, they found people who were opposed to Trump's economic policies. I'm sure the reporter kept talking to people until they found the quote right people who parroted the anti-Trump agenda ridiculous. Yes, of course they have been. That's what happens, and that's what they do. It also depends on where those reporters go. And it also depends on how you ask the questions that you don't see. You know, God bless them. You know, Elliot Davis was and people don't know him, but this was what happens a lot of time. A reporter in the St. Louis area would go out and do stories, and he has the same questions, and he would ask people the question, and they'd give him his answer. And then he'd continue to stay there and pester and ask the same question like 100 times until he got some semblance of a difference, maybe. And then, oh my God, they're lying. And it was wrong. That's not journalism. That's looking. It's gotcha. And I hated to see that, but that was done. That was done. Jenny says, by the way, CBS is the worst. I don't know. There's a lot. Those major networks are all bad. Kimberly says, how can you read a sign if you don't know English? I know. I agree. Tony says, pass good driving test. I agree. I agree. I know. I'm following you guys. I agree. It all makes sense. It's what should be happening. But you're going to continue to have these crazy things that are happening around the country. And we just got to remember that Donald Trump is doing everything he possibly can. Okay, this morning, Caroline Leavitt had yet another press conference. Yesterday, she did one for the country, live press conference with Tom Homan, our border czar, who continues to kick ass there. Today, she did one talking about finances, money, with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. And I found this was interesting. The first one that we have talking here, we'll let Scott talk about what's happening in America right now when it comes to some of the trade that's going on and the good that's happening in America.
It's really a three-legged stool in the economic policy. It's trade, it's tax, and it's deregulation. So we are in the midst of addressing, as Caroline said, these long-term trade imbalances. The tax bill is going much better than I would have thought when I took office on January 28th, and that's through President Trump's leadership. That Speaker Johnson, Leader Thune are united. Speaker Johnson, we had a very good meeting yesterday with somebody called the Big Six, NEC Director Kevin Hassett, myself, Speaker Johnson, Leader Thune, Committee Chairman Jason Smith, and Senator Crapo. And the tax bill is moving forward. It is going to give permanence to the 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act, which will, back to the question on certainty, it will give American business certainty, it will give American people certainty, and then President Trump is also adding the things for working Americans, that is talked about earlier, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, making auto payments deductible. So that will substantially address the affordability.
I love the job Scott Bezent is doing. Isn't he just, I mean, everything about him, I love the job he is doing. And how could people not love the job he is doing? I mean, he literally has been one of the best, I repeat, one of the best selections by Donald Trump so far. And that wasn't it from this morning. How about this, guys? I know Amazon is very comfortable and it's easy, and they have jumped into American culture and embedded themselves into what we do. Jeannie says, not one of those reporters will understand any of what Scott Bezent just said. You're probably right. He operates on a higher level. But the longer they hear it, you would think maybe, just maybe, something good would happen. Guys, we stay on topic, but when I do see your quotes, I try to get to them as much as I possibly can. Just wanted to throw this out there from Linda. Pochard, when running for governor in Illinois in early 2000, exposed illegal truck drivers with the Secretary of State. He ran as a Democrat, but we knew him. I voted for him, and the list to Ryan, who went to prison. Okay, I get it. Just getting that out there. We appreciate it. When it comes to Bezent and what he's doing and getting the American people out there, we love it. And he was talking about finances. We talked about inflation going down in a very fast time from 3.0 to 2.4. That was part of the job of taking care of Donald Trump. And by the way, Jerome Powell still yet to take care of interest rates. Shame on you, Jerome Powell, because the market says it is time, it is ready, and you refuse to do it. But you did it for Kamala Harris when she was running for president. Yeah. Okay. So here you go with Amazon. And I am so torn right now. Wasn't Bezos, remember Bezos and Botox Lauren Sanchez running all around the inauguration? Trump allowed him to be there. Trump should find a way, somehow, some way, in Elon to just, you're not going to take him down, but to make it hurt somehow, some way. Because this jackass, what he's allowing right now is stupid. And I'll get to that in a second. Paul says Amazon, Vic, is going to challenge Musk and his Starlink satellite by launching their own satellite internet. Yes, I did hear about it. I don't know specific details, but hey, they're allowed. They can do that. But then does it have anything to do with this? Okay, think about this. You've got Amazon, who is now going to post the price difference with tariffs on the goods that they're selling. Caroline Levitt addressed this today in her press conference. And by the way, she is the best press secretary in the history of this country as well. And just about every person that's been hired for the job that they're doing are proving to be the best that they've ever done. And I always say this, tell me who's been better in the past at a specific job that Trump has in a position right now. Show me. Tell me. Listen to Caroline have to school the reporters regarding what Amazon is doing, and shame on Amazon for doing this, because and we all know what they do to little business. We have local business owners who come in here and talk about Amazon and how they hurt the little guy. And now look at what they're trying to do to American Donald Trump.
A perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies.
I will take this, since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise, because as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon. And Secretary, if you have anything.
Did she say a hostile environment? Amazon working with a Chinese PR firm.
Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action.
Wow.
Sorry, I wanted to
Thank you.
reiterate.
I loved it. No, it is. What's the relationship with Bezos and Trump now? Seriously, what is going on there? Ah,
Bezos isn't happy because most of his income
Thank you,
comes from
Joe.
overseas.
Trump has really put the right people in charge this time. Much better than it was with Mike Pence. And yeah, that's right. Hey, it's all right to make mistakes, but you can't continue to make the same mistakes. Trump made a lot of mistakes in his first term when it came to trusting people and hiring people. This time, it appears the only mistake he's made was one that he made in the past. That's rearing its ugly head, and that's called Amy Coney Barrett, which is unfortunate. So Amazon, I know, once again, it's like one person isn't going to change people's buying habits because it gets so damn comfortable with Amazon. How much do you care? Can you buy American or not? Buy American. Don't support Amazon. Okay, Vic, whatever. I can't tell you the last time I bought something from Amazon. But the Prime stuff is from the chat line. Not a fan of Amazon either, Vic, but I do like my Prime for other stuff. I know. I get it. What's going to happen with Bezos? Why are they doing this? Paul says Trump needs to go out of his way to send a big message to Amazon. And I think he and his team could do something. They could find some way somehow to make it hurt enough or to be enough of a thorn in their side. Because the Democrats are thinking of things that they can do every day to try to hurt Donald Trump. That's just another one. Matthew says, totally agree, Vic, about ACB. She's a massive disappointment. Yeah, we talk about her on occasion. Just sucks. And the Democrats are continuing with some Republicans because things are going too well for conservatives. And the overlords that Robert from the chat line out of Detroit was talking about shows again. Anything and everything they can do to try to stop the Trump momentum. And it's not just Trump. It's stopping Americans. It's stopping you and me and Joe when it comes to everything that this country is trying to do. We're trying to change. It's not status quo anymore. Linda says, I don't do Amazon. Good for you. Mitch says, I've used Amazon a couple of times. Well, I know a lot of people who are receiving multiple packages a day. It's just part of it. It becomes part of life. They intricately put themselves into the fabric of your life and make things so easy.
I have one coming today.
Really?
Yeah.
Could you have bought it anywhere else? I don't need to know exactly.
I
what you
actually
bought.
could have, and I've been thinking about this while you've been doing the story. I actually am going to look products up on Amazon and then go to their website and purchase them.
You are a man of principle, Joe. I will give you that. The often heard, never seen Pro Joe behind the scenes. Who was that from Home Improvement?
Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson. You're like Wilson. We're glad you're with us today. 9/29. It's April 29th. This is the live cancelthisshow.com. Thanks, guys. I did tell you, I'd like to do this because we were talking about very organic show. We'll go with it. I was just talking about how Democrats and these companies are doing anything and everything they can, like Amazon. Oh, we're going to put the price increase from Donald Trump, wink, wink, because of tariffs. But they didn't put the price increase when it came to the inflation that Joe Biden increased. They didn't do that because they're liberals. And liberals lie, cheat, steal. They don't play fair. They don't play nice. They play dirty. They'll stab you in the back. And we have multiple examples of it. Be honest. Be kind. Be direct. That's not the Democratic Party. And that's not what America wants. America is a conservative country, and we proved it again in the election. You cannot let the loud minority overrule you. But don't think for a second. I talked about this 2 weeks ago. No, maybe it was last Monday. I think it was just over a week ago, where you have a Democrat House representative talking about what they do to hurt Donald Trump and saying it on camera. Listen to this. This is where I told you I would find the sound. I went back and found it, where Democrats literally have meetings on how to stop America's progress. Literally. And they think that people are going to vote for them. That's what blows my mind. This is actually happening behind closed doors in DC. Now we know that it's happened. She's saying the quiet part out loud of what they do. That's not it, Joe. They go and have these freaking meetings to try and hurt Americans. Paul says they never talk about the inflation that this country suffered from for the last 4 years because it's Joe Biden's. Of course they don't. Several times the store didn't have what I wanted, so I ordered it. It was the only reason on Amazon. I get it. I totally get it. Makes so much sense. Greg says, Vic, isn't Detroit considered a minor port and trade route? Yeah. I wonder how it will be effective with the tariffs. Got any friends that can lighten us? Well, the first guy would be Robert Peterball from the Detroit area, who owns a supply company for the auto industry. Maybe he could jump in from that standpoint as well. Okay, now we show you Representative Friedman admitting that about 70 House Democrats meet privately.
Every single week, we have a litigation working group where a large group of us, and I'm talking there's maybe 75 members of the House, sit down every single week with the AGs to talk about legal strategy. This is all going on every single week behind the scenes. It is nonstop talk, nonstop introduction of bills and legislation, nonstop being on social media as much as we can without being throttled and without the crazy analytics, and doing all these things.
Wow. Doing what they can behind the scenes to stop Donald Trump. Does that make you feel sick or what? What about helping Americans? What about helping Americans?
Such an underhanded way, but it's a direct attack on U.S. citizens.
Once again, I don't see how anybody could ever vote Democrat unless you have some warped policy ideas. Warped policy ideas. Because all the conservatives are doing right now is talking about policy. That's the narrative that's come down from the top man. That's all it is. It's about helping. Nobody can actually look at any of the policies that the Trump administration has brought forward in the first 100 days and say that they are not American, that they are not trying to help American citizens, that they are not trying to help us be healthier, safer, wealthier, and more about America, not just for now, but for the future, and helping not just kick the can down the road for our grandkids and great grandkids. From the chat line, hearing that is sickening. Also from the chat line, Democratic Americans must be so proud, where all they try to do is cause chaos, cause problems. Don't let people be in peace. Stop America from being wealthy, healthy, and safer. Case in point, listen to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. This guy, we shouldn't be surprised. He is the same individual who's caused so many problems and run Illinois into the ground. He has threatened Donald Trump in the past with certain things, gave his own money to try and influence an election in Wisconsin when it came to their Supreme Court. And then now he's telling liberals to not allow Republicans to have a moment of peace. Really?
Upon which history turns. Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now.
Oh, you tough guy. You're so tough.
These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
Wow.
They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
I'm going to do that by cheating.
They must feel in their bones that when we survive this shameful episode of American history with our democracy intact, because we have no alternative but to do just that, that we will relegate their portraits to the museum halls reserved for tyrants and traitors.
Okay, I've heard enough of them. Do not allow them to have a moment of peace. Disruption. And we've seen what Democrats do. There's one thing to protest lawfully and peacefully. It's another thing to break the law when you protest. Democrats have become savants on it. They know how to start trouble, start shit, break the law. That's an issue. Ginny says this guy really gets under my skin. How could he not? There's nothing honest, pure, wholesome about his policy. Nothing. Look what he's done to Illinois.
Speaking of Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, no, exactly. Chatline says that's exactly what conservatives should do to them. Also, can I be forgiven for voting Democrat in the past? Yes, of course you are. Am I a part of the fools that set Democrats up for believing their BS? No, it's all right. A lot of people in my life. My dad voted for Obama the first time. I thought he was insane, but he smartened up. Projo, not too long ago, was a Democrat. Very many people in Donald Trump's staff, including Donald Trump, were Democrats. Okay. It makes sense. It is okay to be that way. Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, RFK Jr. I mean, the list goes on with people, Elon Musk. I mean, come on. It's okay. It is all right.
It's not the same Democratic Party. If you're still a Democrat, then you just basically sat in the boiling water.
Cindy says Pritzker is doing nothing but advocating violence. In my humble opinion, that's how his uneducated, very over-the-top, bombastic, liberal elves take it. Yeah, because of what we have seen in the past. Not just think of this in my brain for no reason. It's because what we see the liberals do when it comes to that. He should be charged with inciting. That coming from the chat line as well. Brenda says, I voted for Obama twice. Yeah. It's fine. It's all good. Todd says Trump recently signed an executive order that truck drivers will have to speak English. Yep. Guess what? We brought it up. You just got to the show a little bit late, Todd. I was looking for you. We talked about it. I was curious for your opinion when it came to that standpoint. Also from the chat line, when AOC and Bernie fight billionaires and oligarchs, does that include Pritzker? It should. And of course, it's already been exposed. AOC and Bernie flying their private jets all around the world. Oh, but we're so green and we're so worried about you as Americans. Exposed. We already know who and what you are. And of course, the media is not going to call it out, and that's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. I mean, we broke this story down yesterday, how the media isn't doing things. Scott Jennings, you are a gem. You are a gem on CNN. You have found the right spot. Thankfully, CNN allows their own analysts to quadruple team Mr. Jennings, and he still destroys them all. He is the Chuck Norris of American political talk. No matter what comes at him, he will destroy it, and he will destroy it quickly and immediately. Scott Jennings, dude, what he does, destroy Democrats when it comes to this subject being the media and how it's his fault that Americans don't trust the media anymore.
The problem is that the right wing, hello, Scott, has taken advantage of this situation, I think, quite cleverly, quite wisely. They've played into a weakness.
What situation?
The situation of media being under attack. And so they've created a situation where...
You've almost got it. Keep going. What the right wing is taking advantage of is finally the American people saying enough is enough. They're tired of feeling like the mass media screens out one viewpoint versus another in political coverage. They're tired of media institutions favoring one party over another. They're tired of narratives over factual stories. If I had any advice for 60 Minutes or anybody else, it would be just cover the news and try to be fair about it and stop putting your finger on the scale, especially during campaigns.
You're talking about the old mass media myth.
What? What? Oh, the old media myth. Oh.
Bigfoot.
Oh my. This is what it's like. We used to have one of these lunatic liberals in this studio. And you want to talk about a lunatic? And God, I know he was over 70 years old and he lost his mind, but this guy You want to talk about just a dirtbag, shitbag, just trying to destroy and hurt Americans, man. This guy was something else. And they try to corrupt people like that. It's insane. The TV was really rigged when we were young. Okay. Yeah, I know it was rigged. Also, I can't believe how many people out there have limited intelligence who actually follow these charlatans like AOC, Bernie, and Pritzker. What color is the sky in their world? Well, but it's about politics. It's happened from the beginning of time. It'll always be there. Nobody's ever going to always agree. Connie says, I was a Dem longer than I've been a Republican into my 40s. When I switched over, I'm now 63. Praise God. Hallelujah. There's hope for all of us. Tanya says, I never voted for Obama, but I'm embarrassed that I voted for Bush twice. Okay. All right. I get it. It's fine. I get it. But a lot of us didn't know who the Bushes really were until after the fact. I think that's safe to say. Now we see the connections to Obama. We see the CIA involved. We see some of the things that have gone down. We see the disrespect for a current sitting president by W. Those are the things that are ridiculous. And that's why I don't think the Bushes should be remembered for doing much good because of who they are now and not wanting the best for this country because they're not in power. Seriously. I'm not going off crazy track right here. Look at how they treat our current sitting president, and then that's all you have to see, isn't it?
They fed the war machine too. So.
They did. They did feed the war, like every other Democrat and Republican. We're safe on this show. We're fair. We're truth. We're not going to sit back and just, well, we want this, and we're not going to give you the other truth that's out there. That's wrong, and we're going to call it out, and it should be called out because media will continue to lie and cheat and steal and say things that shouldn't be there. The VA secretary, Doug Collins, did an outstanding job with a local reporter. He actually confronts her and the lies that this is what local media will do to you. They'll not say things. They'll say, oh, well, we heard a rumor and put bad stuff out there in the universe. And then Joe has to deal with all these crazy libtards all day long on social media. Well, I heard this and I heard that. And it's wrong. Glenn says Trump has exposed many, and that's why so many hate him. Because he's exposing, he's cleaning, he's doing the exterminating of all the cockroaches in DC and around the country who've infested this country and put us into a bad situation, laying their bad eggs for more destruction and turmoil in the years to come. But it's ending. And guess what? The growing pains are never easy, but that's what we're going through right now, the cleanup. And then we become a better United States of America. We'll watch this just for a little bit. But this is what politicians should do. When they say, get on there, do the shows with them and expose their lies, just like VA Secretary Doug Collins did with this woman.
All I seem to be doing lately is fighting back against innuendo and rumor stories. And this is what I seem to be fighting about all the time. In fact, Patricia, part of it is with you.
I'm sure.
And I just need your help because when you start headlines with, there's a rumor going around and that we've heard that hurts my veterans. That scares my veterans. That scares my employees because it's not true. Will you commit to not doing that in the future?
Well, there was a DOJ representative that day.
I have a VA employee who is our DOJ liaison. You knew that and you could ask that question.
I did ask that
But
question.
when you got the answer. But my question here is, I need you to commit to not starting off rumors began circulating.
I mean,
well, if it's either true or false, Patricia, and then you go to Patty Murphy saying that we've heard and we have DOJ may have barged into the VA today. Unconfirmed hearsay. You know what you'd have done if I was a member of Congress and probably done that? Unconfirmed report. But you didn't put unconfirmed report.
Right.
So, Patricia, I want to work together with you.
Okay.
But I need you to commit to me that you're not going to do this.
I'm working on it, and I have been actually, I have another question based on that. Thank you very much.
No, I want to hear the answer first. You committing not to do rumors because you're scaring my VA employees about this.
That's fair.
And you're scaring my veterans.
Yeah,
That's unforgivable. That's not something I take lightly.
But if a rumor is different than if I have a source.
Then you source it to our PR people and let them know because you know something. I've got people who are reporting stuff right now who aren't even calling us. They don't even get something from. They don't even call us to check it.
Well, that's not right.
Well, this isn't right either.
Okay. Well, that's fair. But I did call about that.
Good.
I did call about
And you got the answer, but yet you still report it as a rumor.
Well, I didn't
Okay,
report-
which is it? Which is it? Is it a rumor or is it get
believe
confirmed?
Was that there is a Doge person there.
There is.
That was
Okay,
believed.
nobody
Second
has
draft.
said that from you. Nobody. We answered it, but it was reported as a rumor. I mean, you think about
take
this.
issue with
and
parsing out
you know,
my
and
stuff,
in
but
the
that's
in the
fine.
headline of the story,
I
Elon,
don't write the
Elon
headlines.
Musk. Hey, I don't care who
I
wrote
don't
it.
write
You're,
the
you're,
headlines. I know. I have
but
to
your
push back.
byline. It's
I'm
your
starting
byline.
to push back on those, and I
Okay,
have.
but you think about what it says here. Elon Musk aide is now working at VA accessing computer systems. Ooh. I mean, that's all in
That's
this.
a true statement.
No, I mean, it is because you know what? We don't make them. We don't make a Doge employee, which is funny because they're VA employees, a liaison. We don't also give them a.
I was not told that.
We don't give.
I was not told.
But
there
you
was a
wrote the
Doge
article.
liaison.
You wrote
It
the
was a
article,
Doge
honey.
employee, one Doge employee.
Liar.
As we look at this, Patricia, I want you to know something. When you look at this headline and you're accessing computer systems, I want to work with you a lot as we go forward. We're going to have a lot of time together.
That's fair.
But I'm not going to have any reporter scaring my employees and scaring the veterans.
Boom goes the dynamite. Isn't that gratifying? Because I'm telling you, I worked with it side by side. I saw men and women doing things like this in local media and national media that are lying, cheating, stealing. Oh, I've got a source, and we're just going to throw this out there and cast some shadows of doubt so that people in the American public who are liberals and looking for something can take it and go run with it. The army ants, as Eric refers to them, starting the trouble, starting the lies. Thank you, VA of Secretary of Affairs Doug Collins, for calling that out and providing a tutorial on how people should address reporters with facts against their lies. Wonderful. They just can't ever cave. It's called, what do I always talk about? The worst sin of all, and the Democrats have it more than anybody? Pride. They refuse to admit they're wrong. They refuse to admit they're wrong. They refuse to admit they're wrong.
They have parades.
Once again, it was the reason, and you guys, I'm going to get biblical. It's the reason Lucifer was cast out of heaven. The pride. He couldn't stand. He had pride. She's not admit to a fault. Yeah, of course, Kimberly, she doesn't. They need to punish these people. Quit investigating every freaking thing that's going on. No, I get it. It's wrong. All of this stuff is flat out wrong. I hate it. And you've got to be fair and stop trying to be the story. Put out truth. And once again, maybe media would come back. Maybe Americans over a period of time would start to trust media again. But you've already seen it. People don't. They don't trust it. And how could you trust it? And Joe's still pissed off at what Letitia James did to Donald Trump. He sent me a video this morning. How it was all lie sheet. They circumvented new laws and rules to say, oh, basically Donald Trump committed for mortgage fraud. Well, guess what happened? Pelosi smear, freaking termites. Yeah, they just can't ever cave. And then I looked down at our chat line, and Mitch says accusations from Letitia James just been proven in the case. I don't know where you got your information from about proven, but Newsmax did an amazing interview with the man who exposed her. He's a Democrat. I mean, all we do is win. Donald Trump said, you're going to get tired of winning. And it's great to see the transparency that is happening right now. Newsmax did this interview, and I like her. She did a really good job here with the Democrat who exposed Letitia James. She's going down. She's hired Hunter Biden's attorney to try to help her. I don't know. There's facts. There's no way in freaking hell she can get out of this unless some attorney somewhere, somebody in politics can try to sway the justice system, but I don't know what. I don't know. That's what I tried to, like I said, look at this with a grain of salt, but she's guilty as hell and it's right there. And I don't know how anybody could get her out. Here, check this interview out about the man, not a Republican, not Donald Trump, not his administration, as she said last week. He's coming after me.
Big Tish James pulling out the big guns and hiring Hunter Biden's former lawyer, Abby Lowell, to defend the fraud allegation she's now facing. Talk about hypocrisy at its finest. The same thing she tried to go after President Trump, the charges she is now facing, that she inflated her wealth and more. Joining us now is the guy who uncovered it all, right? Forensic accountant Sam Antar. Sam, first off, you are a Democrat. Right?
Yes.
You are not politically motivated in this whatsoever. What did you uncover? What made you start looking?
It was the beginning of a long process of me looking at New York City politicians and how they spend campaign money and taxpayer money, and also comparing their personal financial disclosures to New York State to the property records, the public property records.
What did you uncover?
Okay, with Tish James, there was a few things that were uncovered. First, each one of her financial disclosures to New York State was false. She omitted mortgages from her disclosures, and she even omitted a property from her disclosures. The second thing I learned is that she has mortgages listed on her financial disclosures that do not appear in the property records. It's strange. Third thing I learned is that on one property in Virginia, she has about $510,000 in mortgages, but she lists the valuation of only $100,000 to $150,000. Her words, not mine. Another thing that I learned was that Tish James has a property in Brooklyn that she lists as 4 units, but it's 5 units under the certificate of occupancy. Yesterday, I visited the property with another researcher, Joel Gilbert. We looked at the doorbells. There's 5 doorbells on the premises. I checked the Con Ed records. There's 5 electrical units for each of the things. You can't have a 5-unit building and then occupy 2 units and call it a 4-unit building.
And she also claimed to live in a home that was her primary residence, because if it is your primary residence, when you get a mortgage, then you get a lower interest rate. And then reporters went knocking on the door and found out they had never seen her there. So this woman she's been caught red-handed. Will Big Tish be changing into a big orange jumpsuit soon? What do you think?
Probably, and she deserves it because, when I saw the lawyer's response, Abby Lowell, I mean, I couldn't have dreamed of a more incompetent response that he made.
Of course.
In reference to the DOJ, to the referral to the DOJ.
Yeah.
Okay. He's saying, well, it was always 4 units on her Brooklyn property. I don't care if it was 2 units, okay? The fact is that the certificate of occupancy says it's 5 units. And then he points to a document that reflects the false information, her HAMP application.
And now she wants us taxpayers to foot the bill for her lawyers. She's saying that this is all a political witch hunt. She was on New York One. Here's what she said. I want you to listen to this, Sam.
Okay.
Let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless.
Oh, yeah.
The allegations are nothing more than a
Keep this
revenge
video.
tour.
Keep this video,
It seems to
Joe.
be based on some social media posts
That guy's
I know
even
were made
worse
by
for putting her on.
partisan political actors.
Partisan political actors?
Let her frame it whatever way she wants. She committed mortgage fraud. She violated New York State law and filed false disclosures from New York State. Trump didn't do it. I didn't do it. MAGA didn't do it. Partisan actors didn't do it. She did it.
So you're not a partisan political actor?
You know something? No. But even if I was, it doesn't change the fact that she committed mortgage fraud. She can say anything she wants about me.
She really can. You released more documents this
And
week.
if he was lying,
What
she
did
could
you
go
find?
sue him.
Well, there's quite a few. First of all, there were some complaints made about the units in her building.
Oh,
and it
I bet they
seems
were,
like
weren't
those
there?
complaints overlap the units that she claims to occupy. So is she really there? Or who's filing these complaints to the Department of Buildings over peeling paint? Or is there sublets, illegal sublets? I don't know. But these are the things that every time we dig, every time we think we reach the bottom of it, we find a new bottom.
It's like you're peeling an onion back. She claimed a Brooklyn apartment was a 4-unit property. We talked about that. Official records say it's a 5-unit. She enabled her to then save tens of thousands of dollars. Right. So at the end of the day, this is all about her saving money, making money.
Exactly. Every single financial disclosure that contained false information, she benefited from financially.
minute left. Are you ever worried? I mean, you're going after Big Tish. She's the attorney general. She's a top lawyer.
I had the FBI up my rear end during the crazy 80 days for 10 years, and they taught me a good lesson. I'm not afraid of her or anybody else.
President Trump, he put out the tweet of your face. You're not even MAGA.
Hell
What did you think about
yes, I
that?
love
That's
this
pretty cool.
guy.
You have caught the attention of the President of the United States here.
Good, but irrespective of catching the attention of the President of the United States, she is guilty. She committed mortgage fraud.
Damn.
She filed false disclosures to New York State.
Damn.
And she can't undo what she did.
Damn.
She can point to anybody she wants.
Praise
it doesn't
Jesus.
matter.
Hallelujah.
She was the one who put pencil to paper.
He's going to prison.
Sam Antar, go after Governor Hochul next.
I love that female. I got to find out who that female is. When do you guys met? That woman is awesome. I'd like to do shows with her. Big Tish, go after Hochul. She'll look Big Tish in some big orange jumpsuits. On a serious note, yes, Glenn, she should be disbarred. She should be disbarred for this. And then, of course, what do a lot of the liberal evil Democrats do when they get caught? Yeah, you're the evil ones. You're coming after me. Yeah. All money going for her legal defense. Yeah, exactly. Lied, cheated, and steal, and then accused Donald Trump, circumvented laws to go after Donald Trump for the same damn thing that Trump really didn't even do, and there was no victims. That's right. And she married her dad to allegedly to those papers. Okay, that's a Democrat, Sam Antar, going out publicly, calling her a liar, saying that she's guilty. You want to talk about defamation if he was lying? Massive. He's not lying. She got caught. And she's going down, or at least she should, unless somebody in New York pulls some strings. Robert says, Vic, when caught, they just lie. It is a mental disorder. It is a pride issue. It shows you what's inside their heart, and it shows you what's inside their head. And she's not the only Democrat who does this. Very, very sad. But we wanted to show it and bring it to your attention. Okay. I'm not about making fun of people, but when they're Nancy Pelosi, and she has done what she has done to Donald Trump and conservatives and everything. Yeah. Go have him investigate Fani Willis too. Oh, they're doing a good job on Fani. Fani the liar as well. She might look good in orange too, sitting right next to Letitia. But Pelosi, she has turned into Biden big time. Word salad, yummy, yummy. Word salad. Remember this, as Glenn Thompson reminds us from the chat line. Quote from Letitia James. No one is above the law. From Letitia James. Remember that. Letitia, after the way you treated Donald Trump, acted like you were so high and mighty. Yeah, Nathan Wade. Tani says, pray for the fake fraudulent justices to do the right legal decisions. Amen. Watch Nancy Pelosi just this it's almost deserved. I'm trying to figure out the right way to explain this, but I know people have talked about alcohol and alcoholism and her Vicodin celebrity sharing all over the place over the years, but look at how she has become Joe Biden.
Good morning, everyone, and I want to thank Laurie Poston for Arcadio Produce for hosting us today. Make no mistake, President Biden's senseless tariffs. Imagine Ronald Reagan, the great communitor, the largest tax hike on American families in history. When he made his first vote for President of the United States, as a young person, he voted for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who overturned the Smoot-Hawley. I just thought I'd throw that part in. Hands off our Medicaid. He and then George Herbert Walker Bush on lowering the cost to stand united against his reckless economic policy. So again, really, even to come to talk about food, and food. He starts out, you'll Google it. I won't do the whole speech. You'll Google it. The flowers. Marna and Manny. First of all, many of our small business people are from immigrant communities. That's that's okay. I'll get it later.
Look at, they're all like picking up. Oh shit, is that bad? Damn, is that bad? Mandy, way to sum it up. Oh my God, what? WTF? Are you kidding me? Alcohol abuse will ruin your brain. Drinking in old age. Drunk. I see Biden dementia contagious. I will never. This is my deal. I am an empath and I feel for people. I will never feel sorry for her ever. And I don't right now. Just like I didn't feel sorry for Biden. I don't. This is the bed she made and she's going to meet her maker someday, just like Joe Biden did. That's right. That's what I said. Just like Joe Biden did. Matthew says, I'm sorry, but this is hilarious. Carmen catching up with her, Nancy. I was cracking up. I've watched it 5 or 6 times. I'm still laughing. That is one of the worst press conferences I've ever seen. Pull up some Joe Biden, but at least Joe Biden would try to have somebody pull him out or that. Great. Nancy Pelosi getting exactly what she deserves. And it's sad, but it is. Greg says, time to call Visiting Angel. Yeah, I agree. Hey, guys, we appreciate the advertisers that we have on the show. Her face is melting. It's in the way. Thank you to Wendy's, Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Work hard, play hard. Wonderful food. Some of the best bar food you're ever going to have, ever. Great times. There's a reason why everybody goes to Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley, and then they go back because of the great job that they do over at Wendy's. Thank you to Ben and Marla. What a great place to go to. Love it. Love to see it. Get over to Wendy's. How about Capriati's? One of the best sandwiches you're ever going to find. You got the Bobby. Literally was voted #1 sandwich in America. Incredible turkey sandwich. They also have the Philly cheesesteak, which I have learned to love. Yum, yum, yum. The real thin fries, but they're wide, thin, flat fries. They're amazing. And of course, they're catering second to none. Try them out. They have the Wagyu beef, open 9 to 9 every day. They're based in Rock Hill. Tell Jonathan you appreciate them advertising on Cancel This. How about Rockwood Charcoal? It's grilling season. It is the best charcoal in America. You can get it at all local stores throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. But when it comes to nationwide sales, the owner says, do not get it from Amazon. Especially now you find out they're working with Chinese companies and trying to destroy the Trump administration. You buy it from Ace Hardware. Once again, Ace Hardware, it's all natural. You take a piece, you squeeze it, and it breaks apart in your hand. It's all natural. That's what heats your food. If you can't do that, it's filled with fillers, like a lot of the charcoal is. You don't want that bad, nasty stuff grilling and burning on your food. Also, the real estate market has begun to turn throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. If you don't believe me, ask Megan Livingstone. Give her a call or an email. She'll set the record straight for you, whether it's commercial or residential. Megan can help you. She right now is ready to take your phone calls. 314-249-1708. 314-249-1708. You can also email her, Megan at experience-re.com. Megan at experience-re.com. Seriously, give her a call. You're not locked in by calling her. Get a gauge on the market. Get a plan together. Jerome Powell's eventually going to have to drop interest rates. He is. And even if he doesn't, people are still looking. More property is coming open. Not what we want, but it is a much better situation than what we had before. Also, cybersecurity is a massive topic. It is a massive issue. And whether you're an individual or a business, you need to talk to somebody to make sure that everything is the way that it should be. And for that, you need to go to alliancetech.com/cancel this. alliancetech.com/cancel this. Brian Ferrario will talk to you. He will make sure things are as good as they can be. He will help you. He is out of the Chesterfield Valley. He is working with several companies. The company has been award-winning when it comes to helping people all over the state of Missouri. They will take care of the things that are happening right now. And you know what's happening in this world. You can't trust anything. So check out alliancetech.com/cancel this. Also, I told you, check out Aesthetica Med Spa. when it comes to everything for your face and skin in Lake St. Louis, just off Highway 40. And when it comes to the people, it's Highway 40 and Winghaven Boulevard. It's Estetica Med Spa. Estetica Med Spa, Tasha Dove and her crew taking care of everything for your face, injecting. Hell, they help me look a little bit younger. It's about aging gracefully if you want to. They take care of it. It's the top technology you're going to find. Estetica, that's Estetica, Estetica Med Spa. When you call in, tell them the code word fresh face or tell them you appreciate them advertising on Cancel This. Trust me, you will not be sorry that you went in to do that. Tanya says, enjoy your afternoon, everyone. Tanning time, then walking. Joe, you got your tanning appointment set up today?
I do.
All right. That's nice. That's nice as well. All right. By the way, Wicked Witch of the West is what Nancy Pelosi was referred to. I'm melting. I'm melting. Guys, we love you here on Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. Enjoy your day. We will be back. We will talk to you guys on Thursday. Megan Marie Moret will be in studio. We'll find out how her week went when it came to the trafficking and missing persons conference that she went to in Springfield. And by the way, kudos to Fox last night for hosting the Missing Person show and then backing it up with a new episode of America's Most Wanted with John Walsh and his son. Guys, we love you. Thank you for all the support you give us here on Cancel This. If you want to support us in any way, you can go to cancelthisshow.com and we have a donate button. But thanks again for everything you guys do for us. We will see you on Thursday at 9:00 Central.
Folks, today's a big conversation. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Dupuy.